Good morning and a warm welcome to Tuesday FaceTime live reflections from Dalgety Parish Church. It's Tuesday the 24th of January. I'm wondering this morning about the word home. What does home mean to you? I'm sitting in the church this morning, and for some this will be a home for a church. And as I just pan round, we have windows that will be familiar to people. The sanctuary, the worship area, the chancel, banners, all will mean something to somebody. And for some of our folk that come to our story time this morning, this is a home for their morning where they come and listen to stories. But what does home mean to you? That's my question this morning. Is home simply bricks and mortar in which we lay our head at night? That's if we're lucky enough to have that. Or is it something more? When we're getting to know someone, the question that often arises is, where is home? Where do you come from? And in that question, that person who is asked needs to discern whether they are being asked where they currently live or where they originated from. Is that country or is that place? Context and tone are everything. But is home just more than a place in which we came from? And why is it that people often feel a pull or a tug to return to a place in which they call home? Whether that be a city or town or village, or even a piece of land that is now grass or has something else on it that is important to them. As a child, I remember my uncle taking me and my cousins to a piece of land that once was a house in which he grew up in. And he jumped from area to area of that land, telling us the story of the house, where the bedrooms were, where the living room was, where the kitchen. Who lived there? Where his aunties had lived round the corner, who came for tea, and how he carried his motorbike up the stairs every evening or every night, and asking his younger siblings to help, often getting them out of bed. This was more than a piece of land, but a house in which he had called home. And for whatever reason that day, he wanted us to know some of that story. Home is simply more than bricks and mortar. But home is also a changeable feat for some. That doesn't mean that what has gone on before is not important, but it's part of our life's tapestries. And each and every one of us has a different tapestry, and yet it will be at times to interconnect with each other. I once was an expat, and as expats we celebrated each and every one of our communities, festivals and celebrations, as well as joining in with culture in which we lived in at the same time. There was always a new food to try, a party to go to organise or help out at. Friendships were formed and history was built and shared with each other. And in good times and bad, we were there for another. A community that simply accepted all in, and where there was a tolerance for different ways, because there was a deep understanding that we all had different experiences, and when we shared living in a different country together, that was an experience that we also shared. And that is what community is all about: sharing and learning, celebrating, and simply doing life together. Our community here in Dalgety Parish Church is all about that, where all are welcomed in and accepted, valued and known. That you simply don't need a reason to be in our building. It might simply be that your home is too cold at the moment. And our building is open every morning during the week. Some mornings are busier than others. For this morning we have story time for under fives, or for anyone who wants to pop in and hear a story, to be fair. But we also have our Cafe Connect on this morning. As I say, all are welcome, and some mornings are busier than others. But please do pop in and be warm. Do not sit in a cold house, especially in the morning, when you can come and sit in our building. For some, home also is not often a safe place. And that might be because violence is happening there. And if that is the case, please do reach out to someone. Violence and abuse of any kind is never okay. But home means different things to different people. This last year, we have welcomed in those from Ukraine. And I mean we in our country, in our villages, in towns and cities. And here is part of our community of Dalgety Bay. And where a tapestry of life has overlapped, for long or as short as that has to be. But their lives have changed forever, and some more than others. Their lives have been altered through the act of war, and life paths have been changed. Living at the moment is somewhere else, and yet home still remains their own country, with their own people and their own family, which I know they miss incredibly. That word home does mean so much. But I'm going to leave you with something now, something that I came across that is entitled Home. And I think it perhaps gives us all something to ponder. I used to think of home was the place, but now I think of home as the people that form the history of my life. The question, where do you come from, perhaps should be, to where do you belong? But that sounds as if I am owned, and I don't want to be owned by no one. But I do need a home, a place in which I can call home, a place to belong, more than a place to rest my head. And then I wonder if that place needs a location, or whether or not that place can be home of another. Can that place be home of our God? A God who welcomes and knows. A God who made a home in me and in you. Home is a place where you belong, where you are known and loved. Well, perhaps then home is to be in God. Not necessarily a physical location, but a spiritual space. Know wherever you are, whether you are always been known in your home, whether you are travelling, whether you are part of our community from a different part of our world, know that whatever you are known and loved by God, and that there is always a space and a place for you here in our church, in our building, no matter why or how you need to use that space. Please know there is a welcome for you. For however long or short that needs to be, that welcome is for all. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday and a good week, whatever that looks like for you. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll maybe see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.